So this is the garden tour. These are my tomato plants. We've been eating tomatoes off these all summer. I'm just getting ready to pick everything, the rest of this stuff, and get it out of here and see if I can fertilize these and force them to do another crop. The tops are really healthy and have flowers. Crazy stuff. These are my strawberries. These are Daintreuil. They should be doing another crop here in September. We've been eating off them for a few months. I got a bunch of runners that I've replanted in pots that I'm going to plant over by these tomatoes. Crazy stuff. And here are my pepper plants. I've got bell peppers here, jalapenos. Right here, where's jalapenos? Those are Anaheims there. And then back here I have serrano peppers growing. Little serranos growing all over the place. And there's some more Anaheims. These are doing really well. I'm going to try to keep these through the winter and have them last till next year. Just harvested a little bit of herbs, some tarragon and some oregano. These are my winter broccolis, and there's some cabbage in those two pots. We'll see how that does. Here, doing some carrots and some lettuce. Haven't had much success. Got different rows that are planted like 21 days apart, but nothing seems to be doing very well there. Got a bunch of winter squash that seems to be doing pretty good. And here's my eggplants. You can see them on here. I've got a bunch of stuff growing up under there. They're doing awesome. And then here I've got cucumbers and more winter squash. Been eating off the cucumbers for probably 3 or 4 months now. They just have been producing slow but sure. Good stuff. There's a nice flower. This is my attempt at having a sustainable garden that we can eat off of all year round. Here's my little herb garden. It's doing great. I've got oregano and rosemary and sage and basil and more oregano, tarragon, rosemary, lemon, sage. I just planted some mint down in here, and then there's a bunch of thyme in there. So got a bunch of good stuff. And here are my 2 okras. I put these in pots and started them out. They're doing so well, I'm going to just leave them in a pot. And I'm going to start some other things in pots. And back here are some potatoes. These have been in since the first of the year. They almost died out, and then I put some more mulch on them and fertilized them, and they started growing again. So I'm just going to leave these in. Actually, I have a new little purple potato plant sprouting up down there, so that's a good sign. Just going to leave these in and see if I can use these as a winter harvest and have some potatoes through the winter. My other potatoes, we ate on those for almost a month that were in my pepper bed underneath my peppers, but that worked out. And then here is my green bean tower that goes up to the sky. I jacked in the beanstalk. It's doing really good. Haven't got any beans off that yet, but that should start producing here in about 3 or 4 weeks. And down here I got some other beans, some yellow beans and some green beans. They're bush beans, and they're doing fairly well. I've had like 2 harvests off of them, but I moved those plants like 3 times, so they had a tough time. Same thing with these squash right here. They're doing well now, but I had to move these 3 times. There's a squash there growing. Just haven't had much production off these 2 squash plants. There's my Brussels sprouts, winter crop. Should start producing some Brussels sprouts end of August, September, October. And then here is my asparagus. This is their second year. So next year I should start getting a little bit of a harvest off of them. And here are my artichokes. This is the second crop of artichokes. This is about how big my artichokes were in January. So this, I already had one crop grow in, cut them down to the ground, and this is the regrowth from that cut down that they're coming in. So I'm hoping towards the fall we should have another crop there. Go around here. And there's my zucchinis. I'm actually going to harvest those this morning. Those two. You can see them. They're really good size. They were pretty small yesterday. But this zucchini plant just keeps growing out longer. This has been another problem plant. It just takes up too much space here in my garden. Shades too much of the other plants. So I've got a different spot for them next year. And then over there is my Japanese eggplants. And again, some winter squash. We'll see how things get through here. And there's a winter squash that's growing up there on the trellis. Got a bunch of other ones growing in different spots. There's one down here, some over on the other side. I've got onions and garlic and shallots out of the garden earlier in the year. So just a bunch of stuff growing out here. Well, thank you for watching my video.